It's like the people on Earth that are like the most opposed to like gentrification are the same Californians like moving to poor Idaho communities and pricing those people out.
I don't understand what's bad about gentrification. I really can't. No one has ever explained to me why.
I don't understand it either, because it seems like if people leave, that's white flight and that's bad. And then if people come there, that's gentrification and that's bad. Where do you want us to live, folks? Like what?
Where you were born, damn it. Nowhere else.
You know, they took this rundown neighborhood and then they invested in it and they made it nicer. And now it's more expensive to live there.
Yeah.
Oh, woe is me. All the people who like stayed, their property values went up too. How are you a victim in this?
I love it. They did it in East Atlanta.
I don't get it either.
And like they kept the graffiti on the walls, so it now just feels hip.
Now it's cool.
Yeah. Like, aren't those gang tags? Nah, come on, let's go get a burger.
No, but you do see that shit. Like you're right, Woody.
It runs them
right
out.
It'll be like, wow, all you whiteys moving out of the city, white flight.
Yeah.
Or it's like, all you whiteys moving into the city, gentrification. And it's like, what? What? Where do we live?
Where I live is considered Research Triangle Park, North Carolina. It's this Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill. That's the triangle. There's this huge zoning thing that only like tech companies and pharmaceutical companies can be there. They figured out that like these guys have alpha jobs. So for every engineer you get a mechanic, a restaurant, to something else. And they're like, we want these alpha jobs to move here. So they zoned for it. It worked. Cool. Well, people would sell their farms and then like IBM would buy farmland and put up a big building there and hire people. And they're like, oh, these poor farmers are being forced to move out. Meanwhile, the farmers are getting like $17 million. Like they're not poor farmers. They're farmers who struck it rich. I hate how they painted all the sellers as victims.
When they chose to sell, you mean?
Yeah, and
they chose to sell. They cashed out. Yeah.
Like, I want to see the movie about the farmer who, when they get offered the money, they're like, oh, thank God, I hate getting up at 5 a.m.
Right? Yeah.
I know you're just going to build a factory here. Can I go out there and shoot every one of those fucking cows in the head? You don't mind, do you?
Just leave it there.
You'll clean up the mess.
Right.
Damn.
I know, Kyle, like you grew up very close to farming culture and agriculture and all that. Like I grew up in St. Louis, but I was at my grandparents all the time. They owned a cattle farm. And there is this like weird... It's mostly right-wing people, frankly, that I see with it doing this shit. Like, you just need to live in a rural area and just do your own thing, and just like the pioneers would, like that kind of bullshit. And it's like, what? Like, are you retarded? Like, really? Like, we're not going back to that, dumbass. Like, you think the best thing to do is you're telling people to just go move in the middle of nowhere with no infrastructure, no nothing, like
chop their firewood and grow their food.
I think that like that whole argument is a bunch of bullshit. Like I see, and like I said, it's largely right-wing people making it, where they're like, oh, all the systems are against us and they're all oppressing us, so let's move to the middle of nowhere. And it's like, are you like, if that were true and all of these institutions were oppressing you in this way, the solution, you believe, is to disenfranchise yourself, make yourself more dependent on a strained out electrical grid, and hope for the best. Like, what are you doing? Like, are you retarded? Like, that doesn't, like, even your little fantasy world doesn't make sense. Like, I spent a while a few days ago, like, going through this absolutely psychotic Twitter thread of someone talking about how you got to move into the middle of nowhere and start raising your own beets and hunt squirrels.
No.
And it's like, where do you
grow
live?
Your toenails.
Because it says tweeted from my iPhone. You fucking you liar. Why don't you lead the way? Lead the way. Show us how it's done. How about a year from now, you post a video of your totally sustainable compound. Prove us wrong. Like, but they're not going to do that. They're telling, like, it was a whole thread of some lunatic telling people to move into the middle of nowhere because of some phantom impression.
Was the end coming?
Yeah, of course it was. Yeah, the end was nigh.
He said the end was coming when they blew up the monument.
I stocked my pantry earlier, and it really showed, during the move, and it showed just how much hoarding I had done during the pandemic.
What had you hoarded as far as?
Please tell me it had beans. Please tell me there were lots and lots of kidney beans and beans
kidney beans, the worst beans.
What I did is I would imagine like a scenario where the power grid had gone down. It had been weeks that we've been living on like our favorite canned goods, and I'm like, let's get some variety stuff in here that we're gonna, we don't need ravioli and chili every night. We're gonna have to have some vegetables and some fruits. So there's like all these fruit cocktail and pineapple things I never eat. Big bat. There's like 15 pounds of rice and beans, like just dry, like big bushels.
Oh my god,
bags of them.
Yeah, so you can lead up to death in a miserable way.
That's the worst part. I have all these little sterno canisters and like heaters that you can like light with a lighter, and they're like it's like a little stove. I'm imagining
I've got a couple
myself,
of those for camping. Yeah,
I'm imagining myself stirring a can of ravioli, like using the can to kill a man, and then like crawling into the bushes. I guess in Atlanta, I don't know what the plan was.
survival. Crawling into the bushes of Atlanta.
I've got cans of like tomato and okra and corn like mixed together. I don't know what I was thinking when I bought that shit.
Survival mode.
That is